Welcome back to Project 94 for another diecast review here on the channel. And today, we're going to be taking a look at a diecast that I had the review filmed for it, but I accidentally erased the video. So that's going to be a little fun fact about this diecast here that I actually reviewed it before. But this time, I've actually got a new camera setup. I don't know if it's going to show this on YouTube, but I actually have a wider screen to record with. So that should make this diecast review so much more fun. But this one right here is going to be Erik Jones. It is 2023 STP North Wilkesboro paint scheme. This is a paint scheme that he ran, this STP throwback. This one right here is going to be a throwback of Richard Petty's 1992 paint scheme, which he also ran this paint scheme in that North Wilkesboro race back in the day, the 1992 running of this race. And in 2023, this was an all-star race, and Erik Jones decided to run this beautiful STP Chevrolet number 43 for Legacy Motor Club. A very good-looking paint scheme. I was really excited to get the diecast of it because I love retro-themed paint schemes. The throwbacks are super awesome. I've always loved STP paint schemes, and this one here is no exception whatsoever. This thing looks amazing on a next-gen car. This is a really good diecast here to get if you're a fan of the Richard Petty stuff. Even more than the 75th anniversary special next-gen wave version of the Richard Petty all-blue Petty Blue paint scheme. That they did a whole bunch of special diecasts and put it in a wave with the 75th NASCAR theme to it. Don't get that diecast. Get this one. Between those two, get this diecast. This one you're going to be so much more happier with. And I'm going to show you why in today's diecast review. So without further ado, let's get this diecast out of the box. Alright guys, we have the diecast out of the box. And holy cow, this diecast is just beautiful, man. The Petty Blue, the Day Glow Orange really looks spectacular on this paint scheme. This is a really stellar looking car. And as someone who also likes or has a family member that loves STP 43, just Richard Petty stuff in general, I'm sure he will be on the hunt for this. Of course, Simon Toyo Sports, I'm sure, is definitely barking up a tree for this car because this is a really cool... Honestly, any Richard Petty fan that loves Richard Petty and is a fan of, you know, the team and the driver, of course, this is a perfect tribute car right here. I even like this more than the actual throwback he ran at Darlington. That's how good this car is. So without further ado, let's get this diecast review on. So you got number 43, Legacy Motor Club. Of course, you have the Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 front end to this thing. And I'm going to see if I can zoom in since we have more camera room. How cool is that? Of course, you're going to have Fueling Performance, STP, for over 50 years. Of course, you got STP with the hood vents and the ZL1 logos. Of course, you got Chevrolet and Jones. And of course, you have Sunoco Goodyear in white on the wheel wells. Or actually, it's kind of more, it kind of has like a light blue, ice blue tint to it. Anywhere that would have like a white text, for some reason, has like a tint of like color. So that's kind of how that looks. And of course, the wheels themselves have white Goodyears because this is not a Darlington car. This ran at the North Wilkesboro All-Star race, so that's why they're still yellow with the dark gray rims. Of course, you got the 75th anniversary logo for NASCAR. You got number 43. Oh, how could I forget? This was a NASCAR Salutes race weekend as well. Got number 43. And unlike the other Legacy Motor Club paint schemes, this actually has the correct outline to it. Instead of having the gold, it actually has the proper color to match the paint scheme, which is the dark blue, which is pretty awesome. They could have just stuffed on the gold outline and it would have made it look weird, but they actually fixed it for this paint scheme. Of course, you have Erik Jones with a little state flag. You have the Legacy Motor Club little logo on the B-pillar. STP nice and big on the side to fit the new number placement. And honestly, this is a retro paint scheme that used to have the number in the middle. But with the new number placement, I think it looks even cooler, just in my opinion. Of course, you have Club Wyndham. I almost said Clib Wyndham instead of Club Wyndham. You have Safety Clean right there, Mac Tools, SEM, and I can never read that other logo that's next to it. It's too small. I apologize. I cannot read what that says. It's too small for me. You have Allegiant STP, Science, Technology, Performance. Of course, you're going to have U.S. Air Force on the quarter panel right there. You got a really weird blue bit of paint chipping onto the window right here. Ugh, it just flaked off. Man, the decals are kind of weird on these diecasts. The quality is just odd. Now there's a paint chip right there, so isn't that great? On the back of this thing, you have STP fuel additives underneath the Chevy bow tie. You have Save Gas, Legacy Motor Club, you got number 43 in blue, STP, Camaro, and ZL1. And you're probably noticing this right off the bat. As I mentioned before, these, anywhere that has white text, it's still white, but it has a weird, like, tint. So you can see, like, the Camaro and the Save Gas and any of, like, the little text bits on it that's on top of the orange or on top of the blue. For instance, when you look at the text that's on top of the blue, it has, like, an ice blue look to it. And on the orange, it kind of has, like, an ice, super bright orange to it. It could just be the way my eyes work that makes it look this way. But it looks even more, that effect is even more intense when you look at the actual diecast, not on video. Of course, you got ZL1. You have the little STP products on the deck lid, and that's pretty cool. You're advertising the products, and you're actually showing the bottles on the paint scheme. It actually does look pretty good. The back would have been cool to have that, but the Save Gas also looks good back there. You have Jones, STP, and number 43 on the roof, and now it's time for the paint scheme itself. And so this car, of course, is spray painted the iconic petty blue. And most importantly, no fuzzy decals. Remember that car I was mentioning before, the special 75th anniversary 43 car? That car has blurry decals. This actually has the clear decals, and it actually ran a race. So yeah, this is so much better to get this car. But back to this thing, it's petty blue. And like all the Legacy Motor Club cars, you're gonna have that. You're also gonna have the black and gold trim across the lower bits of this car. For instance, the front valence towards the splitter, you got a bit of that gold, and underneath it is black. The gold thin stripe again going across the side. Of course, the black underneath of the underbody, side skirt, and of course, you're gonna have the back, the gold trim carrying over to the back as well. And then you're going to have the black side roof pillars. The original car, I do not believe, had this. I believe it was just all petty blue throughout here. But all the Legacy Motor Club paint schemes have this, of course, with the gold logo and then the black side pillars of the roof. But the rest of the body, they can paint whatever they want. Of course, you have the biofuel logo right there. And did I just notice this? Is this not on the other side? Oh, that's cool. I didn't even realize that. So this car technically is a split paint job. And what I mean by that is it's mostly the same, but unlike the right side of this thing, you know how the left side actually has the fuel canister? You actually have an STP little bottle right there putting fuel in the bioethanol ring. How cool is that? That's an awesome little detail. I really like that. That is cool. See how the other side had it? I believe the last time I reviewed this before I put it on YouTube, I don't think I mentioned that. Wow, that's awesome. I love that. That adds so much more depth to this car. You know, STP, you know, fueling the cars, putting motor oil and gas in cars. I like this. That's got to be my favorite detail on the entire car. And I didn't even realize that until now. So let me double check again. Is it? Yep. That's it. How cool is that? I love that. STP Racing Fuels. Of course, the top of the car, you got the dark blue outline with the white number fill-in with the iconic 43, and it's going to be the same way on the door, except you're going to see when the white stripe starts, the middle stripe, it's going to leave a bit of a, it's going to cut off right there, and the rest of it's going to be dark blue underneath, so the white stripe isn't crossing through the white 43. That's a good design decision. It was going to clash if they didn't do that, so looks good to me. And of course, the number in the back is blue. And then the front, it's got the same type of 43 that's on the rest of the car. And as for the paint scheme itself, you're going to have the day glow orange be the lower portion of the stripe. Then you're going to have a thick white stripe flowing through the OEM details underneath. And of course, you're going to have two thinner blue stripes that are perfectly centered to be in the middle, which looks good. And of course, the upper parts are just the petty blue. And that same pattern, of course, the white, dark blue, white, and the day glow, it's going to continue all the way across the side. And instead of being a generic, like, straight line, it actually curves and flows with the body of the next-gen car. It's not just, you know, a straight line. It actually slants and it actually curves a little bit. to just fit the body of this car, which I really like that. It gives like a retro paint scheme a modern touch, which looks super cool. It's really hard to do that for a lot of designers. But of course, the Dayglow orange stands out greatly. Stands out beautifully, I should say. And of course, the 2 stripes stop right there at an angle, so it angles off right there and leaves a bit of white, so that they could put the little logos on the back, like the Legacy and the 43. And then the stripes will continue off right here. I like how it's a bit of a slant. It's not straight, it's got a slant to it. And same over here. Gives it a really cool trapezoid-like style look to it. And of course, that same design is going to carry, like I said, this pattern is going to go all across the side. Of course, the dark blue is going to cut, it's going to cut the stripe off, so the 43, you can see it better. And on the back of this thing, of course, you got the Dayglow orange bumper. And then this is where you're going to see the stripe. So it's going to carry up, just like this. The dark blue stripes are going to carry up as well and have a bit of the white outlines to it. It's going to carry onto the deck lid, and there you go. That's a much better look of the stripe. When you look at it from the deck lid, you can see the shape that's on there. Of course, of the white and the dark blue. You can see like it's a blue stripe with 2 white outlines to it on both sides. And of course, the Dayglow orange right smack dab in the middle. And that whole stripe is going to carry over the entire top portion of this car. It goes from the deck lid, from the back, to the deck lid, to the roof, to the hood, and to the nose of this car. So it's a consistent design. It's very linear, and it looks good. And I like how when you look at it from the top, like, I like how you could still see some of the petty blue. It's not a super wide stripe. It actually, you can still see the petty blue paint. Looks super good to me. I've always loved this STP paint scheme. There's never been a STP paint scheme that I didn't like. I've liked all of them. I really have. There never has been one that's ever been a disappointment to me. They've all been good. And this 1992 paint scheme on a next-gen car, it just looks grand. It looks old school. It's classic. It looks like it has a lot of value to it. It looks like a valuable car. I mean, when you look at it, it's in NASCAR history, the 43 is always the most iconic car. When you see this car on the track, when you see STP number 43, you know exactly who it is or who it's a throwback of. In this case, of course, Erik Jones throwing back to Richard Petty from 1992. This 1992 paint scheme on the next-gen car. I gotta say, man, one of my favorite Erik Jones diecasts, and honestly one of my favorite Petty Motorsports diecasts that I've gotten in years. This is like literally my favorite one that I have. Like, I always loved getting this every year, the STP throwbacks, but man, I gotta tell you, this is the one for me that really does it. And I cannot wait to see how a Toyota version of this paint scheme will look. So there you go, guys. That has been the review of Erik Jones and his 2023 North Wilkesboro All-Star STP number 43 Chevrolet Camaro ZL1 for Legacy Motor Club. What a tongue twister and a beautiful paint scheme. So what do you guys think of this diecast review? And this diecast itself? You're gonna buy it? You like it? You don't like it? Please tell us your opinion in the comment section down below about this car. And that's gonna be it for this diecast review. So comment, like, and subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next diecast review here on the channel. And always remember to make sure you know what you're doing when you're putting decals on your diecasts.